Letters remaining from the Ağrı resistance, 1928. When the 1924 constitution explicitly declared that a state would be founded on Turkishness, the Kurds showed their reactions. The new Turkish state's denial policies left the Kurds no choice but to resist. However, the resistance was eventually broken because the Kurds couldn't unite among themselves. During and after the resistance, laws were enacted deciding the exile of Kurds to the western regions. Whether they support the resistance or not, many Kurdish tribes, families, or notables were exiled. The goal was to break the resistance, to assimilate by erasing identity, and to change the demographic structure. After the suppression of Prince Itiranişi, a secret decree named the Şarkıslat Plan was issued on September 24, 1925. The Kurds were forcibly relocated to the western regions. To implement this decision, a resettlement law numbered 885 was issued in 1926. In the following years, these laws continued to be issued successively. The law numbered 1097, issued in 1927, about the relocation of certain individuals from eastern regions to western provinces. It was one of the first settlement laws targeting Turks in general. The aim of the exile was to break the Kurds' internal solidarity and fragment their identity. However, being subjected to exile and witnessing those practices could be heavier than anything else. Therefore, the state's policy of exile became one of the veins feeding the resistance. The resistance that began on Mount Ararat was both a reaction to the exile policies and a refuge for those who escaped exile. One of Ağrı's symbolic names, Brohesketeli, was sparking the fire of resistance to avoid exile. Numan Efendi, Halis Bey, Kör Hüseyin Pasha Sons Mehmet and Nadir Beys would escape from exile to join the resistance.
One day, someone who loves their office, as a close friend, come over and say, you are banished. Of course, these decisions are surprising, and the reason for the surprise is this. Continuously in the past, someone who is ahead in the wars with the Russians. There is a situation where someone constantly leans towards working with the state. So, Eyüp Ağa and Oğuz's powerful force joined the state in battling the Russians in the region. It has become legendary. So, she is very surprised by this decision. That is, she is very surprised by her own exile decision. There was a house in a village that is both in the east and in the old farm. He also had a cloth shop in Doğu Bayazıt, where he used to sell fabrics and such. When this decision reached him, the bureau won't surrender to the government. He says he will not go into exile. And according to him, he's making certain preparations. At that time, someone named Allo Tashu, a person who is in a group, a person in the Kasköy tribe has plundered sheep. When they arrived at the foothills of Mount Ararat, along with this group, soldiers see this. They say, these are the people we're looking for, the ones to be exiled. So a conflict arises there. I mean, May 16th, in 1926, that conflict breaks out. In that clash, one soldier dies, another is wounded. Afterwards, the soldiers withdraw from the area. The bureau is negotiating with them, talking to them, and they are sending a wounded soldier there to Est Vesta in some way. And then bureau, the state does not accept this criminal decision. In a sense, they are rebelling. And the start date was May 16th, 1926, with that group that is Allo. Tasson is staying on Mount Ararat with his group and not going down.
The fire lit by Brohesketeli on Mount Ararat will soon become a center of attraction.
The Princess Rebellion and the earlier uprisings caused many groups to take to the mountains they were living. Now, when this event is heard, many people will come either individually or in groups